Hello, this is Mike from Mike's Jazz and R&B Reviews. Duke Ellington was one of the most renowned figures in the history of jazz. He was the leader of the Duke Ellington Orchestra, which started recording in the 1920s and played continuously until his death in 1974 and even thereafter. Ellington was also not a big band leader, but a very talented composer, a songwriter who wrote many songs, and many of them became standards. Songs such as Mood Indigo, Everything But You, All Too Soon, Do Nothing Till You Hear From Me. He was also the composer of many extended works, and he was also a very good jazz pianist. I know in some quarters of the jazz world today, Ellington is considered a little old fashioned. I think that's unfortunate. I think his work and his reputation should stand as tall today as it ever did. Okay, the purpose of this video is to take a look at what I consider to be one of perhaps my favorite Duke Ellington album. And it's a pretty obscure one. Ellington recorded hundreds of albums over the decades. But the title of this album is Unknown Session. Unknown Session. But why does it have that name? Well, this may explain it. The album was originally recorded in July 1960, but for some reason it sat in the Columbia Records vaults until 1979 when it was finally released. I think that this is one of Ellington's best albums. Uh, the album has 12 tracks, and um, Ellington's bands were known for having some of the best musicians in the jazz world. And they were known for being expert at playing their instruments. And I think they deserve some special mention to tell you who they are. Besides Ellington on piano, you had Ray Nance on cornet. You had Lawrence Brown on trombone. You had Johnny Hodges on alto saxophone. You had Harry Carney on baritone saxophone. You had Aaron Bell on bass and Sam Woodyard on drums. Now, if you want to hear each of those instruments played by master craftsmen, master players, listen to Unknown Session. Now, I'm going to give you some of my favorite tracks. Track 2, beautiful song titled Black Beauty. Track 6, an equally beautiful song, Creole Blues. Uh, Track 7, a oh, very light but very nice song titled, I love this title, Don't You Know I Care or Don't You Care to Know? And finally, track 11, Dual Highway. And one of the things I like about this one is Mr. Woodyard, Sam Woodyard's playing on the drums. Uh, Unknown Session, I think, is a good starting point for someone who may not be all that familiar with Duke Ellington's music, but wants a good place to start. This is a good place to start. Uh, if I had to rate this album on a scale from 1 to 5, with 5 being the highest, I would give this a 4.5. Um, Luckily, Unknown Session is available on YouTube, so you can just listen to it right on YouTube, and I think you will enjoy it. That's all for now. Uh, Thank you for listening. This is Mike from Mike's Jazz and R&B Reviews.